Joining us on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line to talk about all of what we've just discussed in Major League Baseball is a man with some pretty big news for his growing, looming media giant company, Jomboy Media. Jomboy back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How you doing, Jomboy?
I'm doing very well. Excited to be back. You know, it's a quicker turnaround between appearances this time, so I appreciate that.
Yes, you know, we had to call you because you're very well known for your lip reading. How are you at awkward stare reading? How are you at that, Jomboy? How are you with that?
I'm going to find out. I'm working on that one as we speak, and it is a doozy. It is very bizarre.
Well, I mean, look, we knew this sort of TSA checkpoint setup that Major League Baseball threw into the mix in the middle of last season at some point was going to lead to an awkward exchange, if not an outright ejection. But what the hell happened with Madison Bumgarner and the umpire Dan Bellino yesterday, do you think?
As far as my kind of really quick, I haven't deep dove researches, is there in 2018 or 2019, Madison Bumgarner got ejected for arguing with an umpire that was on Dan, what is it, Bellino?
Dan Bellino,
crew?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
That was on his crew, and then the next day when, or the next time he was behind the dish, he squeezed Madison Bumgarner. So, and he had words for him. So he seems like an umpire that loves standing up for his brethren and other umpires. So as Mad Bum comes off the mound, he chirps at the umpire, says it should have been a strikeout because he thought the home plate umpire missed a call. And I think the Dan umpire is punishing him for yelling at his coworker by staring, like, really, that's how you're going to treat us kind of vibe. But definitely just waits it out. And Mad Bum says, if you got something to say, F you, and then he's out.
I kind of don't blame Madison Bumgarner. If somebody's just going to be just, going through the motions of his job, right? I mean, if you're looking for something, you should literally be looking for something, like truly looking at the hand that you're inspecting, not staring at the guy while you're massaging his hand, waiting for him to say something ejectionable, which is what there's no other way to describe what we just saw yesterday.
Both actions on their own are awkward. If he was to stare at him like that and wasn't holding his hand, it would still be painfully awkward. And if he wasn't staring at him but massaging his hand for that long, that's also awkward. You combine the two, and we're in a really weird territory of awkwardness.
Well, I mean, and then the making it even worse, we kind of saw this yesterday at the end of our show because this was a matinee down in Miami. And so we saw this and kind of hit on it. And my thought was like, okay, so 100% we're going to have to see what the umpire says after the game to explain himself. And all Dan Bellino said after the game was, quote, well, there really wasn't a conversation there, as the report will note, meaning the commissioner's report that they have to file. He just made some inappropriate comments and was removed from the game, and that's all he said. And that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable at all as an answer from the umpire.
No,
wouldn't you agree?
I mean, he definitely goaded him into it. The magic word for a lot of umpires is you, once you make it personal. I'm sure if you put the F word ahead of that, that's a pretty easy trigger for them. But, I mean, that doesn't happen if he's not slowly massaging and staring angrily into his eyes. It's like, hey, get out of here, man. This is weird. So I think he would have ejected him even if those weren't the words he said. He was just trying to eject someone. And I've heard this umpire was a lawyer and really writes really, really detailed and good reports. And you can see from his comments after the game that he's kind of proud of that. He just keeps saying, as the report will note, as my report will note. So I think he's pretty amped up that he has extra work after the game where he can put his law degree to use.
Oh, my gosh. You know what? I mean, we could laugh about it all we want, but when it comes down to it, there should be no 100%, there should be no question that the umpire that's behind home plate or at any base in Major League Baseball does not take into the game with him any sort of preconceived notion against a player or baggage or anything like that. I mean, that's what being a professional is about, don't you think? I mean, What do you think should be done here, if anything, Jomboy?
They're going to handle it all behind closed doors. But this is, I mean, it's the first inning. And as an umpire, you know how much this hurts the team. Now they have to use, I mean, how many pitchers did they end up using? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more pitchers to complete the game. That hurts them going into the weekend series. That hurts them going into the next game. And Madison Bumgarner's having a really good start to his season. And now he's got this 1-inning pitch, 1 earned run start on his record. It's just more at stake than your induced hurt feelings, you know? Like, your feelings are only hurt because you wanted them to get hurt right there. You were searching for it. So it's, I mean, I don't always like saying it's the ump show, but this was probably the biggest one we've seen in a while.
I think so. And I guess this is the holding of the beer of the Angel Hernandez, Kyle Schwarber set to that we saw on Sunday Night Baseball a couple of weeks ago. And I hate to do this, you know, and I just said this moments ago. You know, it's a tough gig, man. It's one of the toughest gigs in sports is umpiring and obviously home plate umpiring. But do you think baseball has an umpiring problem, Jomboy? What do you think?
Well, I just think that better solutions have come and are coming. I think the problem is that more pitches are being thrown harder, faster, with more movement, and then the strike zone is still subjective, kind of to what the ump decides it is that day. And this guy calls it off the plate a lot. It's like, well, I mean, isn't it one zone for everyone? Why does umps have tendencies? But that is the human nature of it. And because there was no solution, people tricked themselves and said, you know what, I love the human element. I like it. And the only reason people said that is because there was no solution. So you just had to trick yourself into saying, this isn't that bad. We have a pretty easy fix that should be here relatively soon. So
what is that?
I just think the job is incredibly hard. And then I also I haven't done a lot of research on this, but I don't know if you saw Joe West's comments, and he said he reached out to Angel Hernandez to see what MLB scored his performance that night. And they scored it apparently a 98 out of 100.
Come on.
And we heard Theo Epstein say that if he was to make some changes in baseball, he would widen the strike zone. And we saw Alex Rodriguez say that he would widen the strike zone and make it, fat and short instead of skinny and tall, which it became. And I agree with that change. They should change the strike zone. It would be better to have more balls in play with that. And I want to look into it because it almost feels like the umpires got a little bit of that memo, but no one else did, because balls off the plate are on either side are being called seemingly more this year than years past. But that is not official or anything. But I do want to look into that.
Well, okay, so a couple things you just said. So what are the changes that are coming soon that you were referring to that people might not?
Well, they're already testing out the, I don't even know if it is robot, but automatic balls and strikes being called in lower levels, where there's still an umpire standing behind home plate, but he has an earpiece in, and then after the pitch, he gets told by the computer or whatever it is, that was a strike or ball, then he makes the call. It's not perfected yet, though. There's pitches that, if I throw a pitch that's 20 feet in the air and then it comes down and it lands at the batter's in between his feet, but it nicks the zone, it's calling that a strike because technically it nicked the zone. Last I read, they didn't really perfect that it had to go through the zone. So I don't think it's ready. But once it's ready and once what the automatic strike zone looks like per the robots calls is what we all say, yeah, that seems right. It should be implemented as soon as possible, in my opinion. But I just don't think we're ready yet.
So the role of a home plate umpire would be to basically be the communicator of what the computer's called something, and then and then be the human being who adjudicates whether somebody's safe or out at home or ball's fair or foul.
Keep the pace of play, get guys in the box and the pitcher moving.
And you like that?
You got to get the new ball out. They're always looking for new balls after they get stuffed.
Yes, that's
and
true.
Plays at the plate, check swings, I guess.
You like that?
There's still some stuff to be done.
You like that? You would like that? You would prefer that than the current setup? You'd like that?
If the calls are correct. Like right now, if we're all watching a game, sometimes there's a collective groan at the bar or in the crowd because everybody watching had it as a strike or a ball, but the umpire had it off. If we changed to robots and we still had those collective groans nonstop and it didn't feel better, the technology didn't get us in a better place, I would say it's not worth it. But I think it can get there. A lot of leagues and sports use this technology of ball tracking. So, it would need to just feel good. Everyone would need to kind of say, like, no, yeah, I trust it. That's right.
And then you heard Joe West said that Angel Hernandez told him that disastrous night behind home plate where everybody hated him and the whole country was chiming in, and Kyle Schwarber and his reaction was giving everybody who was watching the ability to feel like they were venting with him, that baseball thought he was damn near perfect that night. Is that what you just said?
Yeah. So I can find it. I don't know who originally had the article. I wish I could quote them. But Joe West is making the rounds now because he's retired.
Right, he's got his podcast.
Doesn't have a mic every Sunday night, so he's going on a lot of shows. Good for him. He's got a lot of cool stories to share. And he said that it was graded at 96% from MLB on a podcast he went on. I'm trying to search. I don't want to shout someone out. 670 to score. Home plate Angel Hernandez. Joe West went on there, said he asked Angel, what was your score? And he got a 96%. And Joe West said they need to sync the strike zone that they're grading the umpires on with the public perception of the strike zone. So I'm really interested to see if there is a disagreement there. Yeah. If the box Fox is putting on the screen is different than what MLB is grading the umps on. So that's a pretty...
Hey, that's a problem. Of course. Well, look, if they're grading the umps on a certain box, and then the box that the national TV partners and then of course the local TV partners are all using, and we're all saying these people suck, and baseball's like, way to go. That's one thing, but the players are the ones who are flipping out. I mean, your breakdown, Jomboy, of it with the lip reading of Girardi and Schwarber and everything was terrific. I mean, that's the problem. Forget about the disconnect with the fans, which is significant. But if there's still a disconnect with those who are actually competing, that's nuts. That's crazy.
Yes, I agree. I don't know if that's the case, but I'm interested because we've heard just people talk about how they want the strike zone to go back to being wider instead of taller and skinny. And I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe the umpires said, yeah, we want that to go back as well. But they call based on the scores they get, and that information isn't public to us. We have third-party Twitter accounts that do their own grading system on a different strike zone, apparently. So there just needs to be more transparency. If the umpires are getting graded by MLB after each game, let us know, because then let us know what the parameters of that grading system are, so we as a viewer and players understand what they have to be looking for when it comes to the pitches.
Before I let you go on with your day and we get to your news, just a couple minutes here, because you and Jomboy Media see more baseball maybe than everybody else combined. Is there something up with the baseball? Are you noticing something with the baseball? Is it deadened? Do we have a dead ball?
But I believe they've admitted that is the case. They said going into the 2021 season last year that they wanted to have a tighter or a looser, whatever makes it fly less baseball. But because of shipping and quarantine and all that and logistics going down, we had a mixed bag of baseball. So some games had the juice ball and some games have the new ball because production stopped. And they said this year the plan was it to be the ball that flies less. So I believe MLB has been open about that yes, we did change the ball.
Okay. Is that why the Yankees pitching looks so damn good, or what? What do you think? Because to me, that's the number one surprise of the season so far.
They're all working on new pitches nonstop, and I like what Matt Blake's been doing. Like every pitcher last year started throwing a change up, and every pitcher this year is throwing a cutter, and they're working well. But we definitely had the two juice ball years, 2017 and 2019, and this is from Alex Chamberlain on Twitter. Home runs that were barreled to straightaway were home runs 46% of the time in 2017 and 45% of the time in 2019, and we're down to 26%.
Wow,
this year.
That is significant. That's a large number. Okay, congratulations, Jomboy, on the news that you have today. I'll just give you the floor to share it with my viewing and listening audience here.
Yeah, thank you very much. We were seeking another round of funding so we can kind of go to that next level as a company and build the infrastructure and the management and searching for a CEO. And we closed a round of funding. We got $5 million from a collection of investors, and the leader of the round was Connect Ventures, which is a CAA and NEA joint system. So through them, we got some players and some really popular people to come in and be part of it that we hope to utilize and believe they'll add value. And it allows us to kind of take a couple more chances, not need everything to be an instant success, and dream a little bigger. So we're super excited.
And then it's not just going to be for baseball too, right? You're gonna do this for all. We're
going to try. We don't have any single sport that we're putting on the map and saying we need to cover this. I'm more thinking about it as finding people that we think have the same kind of attitude about making things and fun for what they're doing, and whatever they cover, then let's add them to the mix. But keeping the same tone and brand of everything we've done is main priority as we look to add more people.
Yeah, I'm looking at the names here. Billy Crystal, Josh Hader, Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade, Karl Anthony Towns. You got Noah Syndergaard, CeCe Sabathia. Those are some pretty interesting names that are putting their hard-earned American dollars on Jomboy Media. I say congratulations to you, sir.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's bizarre to hear, and some of them, we reached out because we knew they were fans, and others, CAA reached out, and it's wild. Billy Crystal, I still haven't met him yet, but we chatted, and they said, what celebrity would you like? I said, I don't know. I don't really do celebrity culture that much. I said, Billy Crystal. That would be the one that I would brag about to my parents and everyone. So that was very exciting.
Well, have fun storming the castle, Jomboy. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations on everything that's going on with you, as I always say, and keep looking for my call. I truly appreciate our conversations. They're fun. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me on.
You got it. Everybody check out Jomboy Media, and then, of course, Jomboy himself at Jomboy_ on Twitter, at Jomboy Media on Instagram, right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.